This is the Angels Postcast, your instant game reaction for the Los Angeles Angels. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
I cannot believe it. Oh my God. Everyone in here saying Gavin's asleep. Where is Gavin? Is he not doing a show? No, I'm just sitting here dying laughing because what the heck just happened? Oh my goodness. What just happened? Hello, Halo Nation. Hello, Halo hopefuls, and welcome back to the latest edition of the Locked On Angels Postcast, coming at you live. As always, oh my God, the comments are hilarious. Coming at you live, as always, after every single Angels game right here on the Locked On Angels YouTube channel and after the fact, wherever you get the Locked On Angels audio podcast feed. If you don't know who the heck I am. What's going on, everybody? My name is Gavin Carlson, former credentialed journalist in the LA area, spent 4 years covering UCLA sports, whatever, Daily Brewing. You all know the drill. Year 2 at the Locked On Podcast Network, where it's your team every day. Our team is the Angels. And oh my goodness, win of the year? Win of the year? It might be. It might be. It might be. I just saw someone in here say it. Yeah, Nathan in here saying, same win as the Giants walk-off. That was the other candidate for game of the year. I didn't do a postcast for that one. Finally, the Angels decided to have a good time or good game when I do the postcast. But what in the world just happened in this one? Angels win 5-4 over the Toronto Blue Jays. They make it 2 in a row to open up the 3-game series, despite doing just about everything you can, other than Yusei Kikuchi, doing everything you can to not only lose this game, but make the fans infuriated. I mean infuriated. Infuriated. So we're going to get to that in a second. But we have to get to America's favorite segment.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
Screw it. It's the turning point, and it's also...
This is what you'll be talking about.
Man, I don't care. It's also...
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
It's everything. It's everything. Absolutely absurd end to this ball game. And I'm just gonna talk about this ending and everything it means and everything that was leading up to it all at once. We're not gonna try to make it segments. I'm just giving it to you like I saw it, like we all saw it, right? The player of the game, the turning point, all of it, of course. The bases clearing, 3 RBI double from Jorge Soler. I can't even speak. In the bottom of the 9th inning, coming into the inning down 4-2. You have a couple guys get on base in different ways, which we saw throughout this ball game, which was so refreshing to see. Kyron Paris leadoff walk, Zach Neto base hit first and second, Nolan Schanuel line drive to center field to load the bases. Taylor Ward strikes out looking, and then Jorge Soler with 1 out in the bottom of the 9th inning clears the bases with a double down the left field line. The left fielder had quite a time trying to get the ball off the wall. Think it probably would have just been a 2 RBI double if he didn't, or at least a close play. Zach Neto's literally standing there holding 2 hands up saying, Schanuel, stay. Schanuel, stay. But he didn't realize that the ball was bobbled in left field, and it was an easy run for Nolan Schanuel. Now, the reason this is a turning point, the player of the game, by the way, if you didn't know, it's Jorge Soler. I don't care what he did the rest of the game, right? He did have a hit, and he did get on via a walk. I know there was other guys that contributed. Kyron Paris, obviously a big game. Schanuel, obviously a big game. Neto with the clutch hit there. And Yusei Kikuchi was fantastic. And I promise you, somehow, some way, we're going to get to Kikuchi on this show, right? But Jorge Soler is the player of the game because of the swing. Get that out of the way right there. Obviously, this is the turning point in the sense that you walked off the freaking game down 4-2, okay? Right? Yes, Jesus in here, or Jesus, whichever way you pronounce it, saying don't forget about Yohan. Of course, he was phenomenal as well. Phenomenal as well. But let's get to the main thing here, which is what I'm going to be talking about, why this is both a turning point, but also a huge sigh of relief. I was coming in here getting ready to light fumes, blow fumes, whatever the saying is, because of what happened in the first 8 innings of this game. Not only were the Angels absolutely atrocious with runners in scoring position prior to the Jorge Soler swing, right? They were 0 for 10 or 1 for 10, excuse me. They were 0 for 9 with runners in scoring position. 0 for 9. I was going to lose it. Right away, the Angels in this game, this was one of the rare games where the Angels early and often were getting on the bases, right? 6 walks. They got hit. Obviously, Jose Barrios, he was kind of all over the place. You're never going to have a game where the Angels get walked 6 times and they actually deserved all 6 walks. There was quite a bit of, or a lack of control from Barrios in this one, of course. But 6 walks, you get hit by a pitch, and you put together 9 hits. You get on base via the walk, hits, or hit by pitch 16 times. 16 times. And you strike out 14 times still, which, once again, is another reason I was going to lose it, right? You still have a game where you strike out 14 times. You finally have a game where you get on base more times than strikeouts, and you're still fumbling every opportunity with runners in scoring position. I mean, that Taylor Ward strikeout, and no, I'm not talking about the one in the 9th inning, which it's crazy he had 2, right? It truly is crazy that he had 2. But Taylor Ward, a couple times in this ball game, just not coming through. Bottom of the 3rd inning, 2 on, 2 out, and he flies out on a first pitch serve right there. He hit the ball very hard, right? You can't blame him for that one. Bottom of the 5th inning, bases juiced with 1 out. Oh my Lord, I was going to lose it. 2-2 pitch, and it's a great pitch from Barrios. It is. It's a sinker on the outside corner, one that's looking like it's going to go outside, and it just breaks just enough to catch the corner. It was a fantastic pitch. But darn it, context matters. It's bases loaded, 1 out. Put a bat on the ball, right? That's in general in baseball. Put a bat on the ball. But 2, with the context of this team has struggled to put the bat on the ball all season. We've talked about guys needing to choke up the bats. We've talked about guys needing to shorten the swings, needing to go opposite field, needing to take a few miles per hour off the swing speed, right? All season. So with all that context, 2-2 pitch, you got to swing. And to take strike 3 when you just need to make contact, infuriating. And then Soler flies out and you get no runs. Now, fortunately, Kikuchi was balling. So despite not coming through with 2 on and 2 outs in the top or the bottom of the 3rd, despite, again, Ward not coming through, bases juiced, 1 out, striking out. Despite all that, it's still 0-0. Kikuchi gives up the RBI single to Santander in the 6th, but Moncada comes right back. Fly ball deep to right field again, just like yesterday. And back-to-back games now. Did not have a home run all season. Back-to-back games with a home run for Moncada. Ties it at 1. It felt like, okay, that was not one of these games where the Angels were doing nothing and they got a random home run. They deserve to have at least 1 run on the board by then, right? So that home run felt earned. Top of the 7th, and this is the moment everyone is talking about. Ron Washington being questioned, right? Jason Pham in here saying Wash got bailed out. I'm trying to look at all the people that were saying it. A lot of people, Johnson & Johnson saying that win hit another horrid Wash decision. And Steve asking, what do you feel about Detmers' future? Because if you didn't watch the game, tied at 1, Kikuchi was absolutely phenomenal. A shame that he does not get a decision. And he still doesn't have a win despite 6 innings, 5 hits, 1 earned run, just 1 walk, 6 Ks. Very stressless start for him. You felt this was the first time where Kikuchi was on the mound and you were like, man, he feels like an ace. I'm not worried at all, right? It felt good to watch him pitch today. It felt like a free agent acquisition that was solid. And he hasn't been horrible, right? The ERA is just 3.83. But this was the first game, in my opinion, where it was like, okay, this was a good acquisition, right? We can feel confident. And what does he do? I know he's had 91 pitches. I would have liked to see him start the inning. Call me crazy. I understand Ron's decision in the sense that Reid Detmers is a former starter. We're still easing him into being a reliever. Maybe it's more natural for him if he's coming in at the beginning of an inning, right? The same way he would come in at the beginning of an inning as a starter versus coming in after Kikuchi pitches to the first couple of guys, right? But either way, this is a results league, a results industry. Sports are about results. And yes, the context and everything and the decisions that are made, you have to include why the decision was made. But at the end of the day, if you take out a guy who's dealing before you really have to, he's only on 91 pitches, and you bring in Reid Detmers, who has been awful his last couple of outings, and he gets absolutely canned, destroyed, comes in, double, soft bunt. Yeah, sure, you give up a bunt single, right? That's unlucky, but it was to him. And then he gives up the base hit to Miles Straw on a hard hit ball up the middle, able to score the run. And again, this is like the second outing in 3 times where Detmers has not recorded an out and given up runs. Not recorded an out, right? And so then Zephyr John comes in after it's all 2-1 Blue Jays. And again, right after you go tie the game and there's excitement in the Big A again, that happens. Yolando in here dying, making me die, say, I lost my mind and almost crushed my phone screen when I saw Detmers was brought into the game. Right? eBay saying Detmers has been possessed by the ghost of Jose Suarez. Lamau. Right? It's like the one guy that you don't want to take out Yusei Kikuchi for is another lefty and also one who's been absolutely blowing it. Why don't you just bring Zephyr John in then? If your plan is to bring him in anyways, meaning he's fresh, he's ready to go. Detmers gets crushed. Zephyr John comes in. Unfortunately, he gets crushed. Single to Clase, single to Bo Bichette, and just like that, it's 4-1. Fortunately, he goes strikeout, ground out, strikeout after that. But it's 4-1, and this game's feeling over, right? But credit to the Angels. It's not, because then Kyron Paris immediately leads off the bottom of the 7th inning with a home run. Boy, oh boy, does it feel good to see Kyron Paris playing baseball again. 106.4 exit velo. He crushed it. 410 feet. That's all she wrote. Barrios, ironically, the Blue Jays get burned for the decision that I wanted Ron Washington to make, which is leave your starter in until he gives up a run. That's what they did, but he immediately gave up the run. They bring in Rodriguez to replace Barrios, and the Angels go 1-2-3. So it's 4-2. You're like, okay, maybe they're still in it. At least, it's going to be another one of those games where they probably, they fumbled the bag. They didn't get it done with runners in scoring position, and they only hit a couple solo shots. Then the bottom of the 8th happens. Soler single. Ohapi strikes out, sure. But then the Blue Jays try to give the Angels runs. They hit Moncada, and then Little throws a wild pitch. I mean, what a horrible... He comes in, hits Moncada instantly, throws a wild pitch instantly. Just like that, it's 2nd and 3rd with 1 out. 2nd and 3rd with 1 out. These can't be 50-50s, which, by the way, these are not 50-50s, just like last year. 2nd and 3rd with 1 out with the Angels, it's a 10% chance we're scoring the darn run. When for a baseball team that's any good, it's got to be a 50-50. It really, I don't know the exact numbers, I'll be honest. But what are the numbers with runners on 2nd and 3rd with 1 out in terms of at least 1 run being scored, right? Let alone the average runs being scored, which maybe for some teams is 2 at a minimum, right? Just a base hit. But for the Angels, it's 0. And again, striking out, not even putting a bat on the ball. Darno swings through a knuckle curve on 2-2. And then Joe Adell pinch hits, comes in for Kevin Newman, has a good at-bat, except none of the pitches were in the zone, right? You look at the box score and you go, oh, struck out on a 3-2 pitch. Good at-bat. All 6 pitches weren't in the zone. All 6 pitches. There's an open base. It's a lefty against a righty. They pitch it well. Hey, we have an open base. We might as well throw balls. And also, Joe Adell's going to swing at them anyways. So, like Johnson says, he could have left his bat on the shoulder and he would have walked. Steve saying, we have been trashed with runners in scoring position. Absolutely, right? And so thank goodness, despite all of that, like I say here on the screen, I was about to spend the entire show ranting about Detmers and runners in scoring position. What's the irony, folks? I just did anyways. You still just got it. But the good news, and it's why sports are so funny sometimes. Everyone 2 days ago was saying fire on Washington. We're still not happy. We're still 15-20. But if you come into inning 9, it's Ron is gone by the end of the night, is what half the chat would be saying. And now we've won 2 in a row. The vibes are suddenly high because what a way to win. What a way to win. And so fitting, so perfect in that the 9th inning rally starts with a walk, which we've been begging for. And it starts with a walk from Kyron Paris, who we are begging to get back to playing great baseball. Guy's been swinging way too much, striking out way too much. He hits a home run, which he was doing early on, but showing another thing that we haven't seen much of from him. The walk. Beautiful. Zach Neto, our best player. I think it's safe to say, right? Our best player right now. Ohapi's certainly there too, but Neto's our best player. He gets another clutch base hit. Schanuel gets a clutch base hit. So 3 single base at-bats, a walk and 2 singles from the Angels. And then best of all, even though Taylor Ward does the Taylor Ward choke job again and takes strike 3 looking, it does not matter because this is what a good baseball team does. They get runners on base, and then at least one of their meat hitters, one of their big swingers, Ward, Soler, Ohapi, Trout if he's in, right? One of those guys, just one of them's got to come through. And so Jorge Soler, he comes through. If you didn't see it, in a 1-1 count, he gets a slider. It's hung. It's right there, right in that spot that he loves it. And he rips it down the left field line. Paris scores easily. Neto scores easily. Neto's holding the 2 hands up, but the bobble in left field allows the game-winning run in Nolan Schanuel to score. And the Angels win 5-4. I'm going to take my break finally, 16 minutes in the show. This show is supposed to be 18 minutes, and I'm taking the break 16 minutes in. Don't say I don't love you. We're going to take the break, and when we come back, we'll talk about Kikuchi a little bit more because he was great, and we'll look forward to tomorrow. We'll do that after our last break, our only break, here on the Locked On Angels Postcast. Now, today's show is brought to you by wonderful Pistachios. Let me get the graphic up. There we go. Are you looking for a snack that's both delicious and nutritious? Crack into a good source of protein with Wonderful Pistachios. Wonderful Pistachios is one of the highest protein nuts. Each 1-ounce serving has 6 grams of protein, giving you over 10% of your daily value. Plus, they're packed with fiber and better-for-you unsaturated fats to help keep you feeling fuller longer. I love the no-shells variety, right? Whether I'm racing home from the gym at 7:30 in the morning, whether I'm at my desk in the middle of the day, it's the perfect grab-and-go snack for busy days, whether I'm snacked on my desk, like I said, or in the car. I just need that quick protein at all times, and it's my go-to. But if you love the classic cracking edition of pistachios, get the in-shell option. Get snacking and cracking with the snack that packs a protein punch. Visit wonderfulpistachios.com to learn more. Today's show is also brought to you by Supply House. Get the supplies you need from the site made for the skilled trades, Supply House. Whether you're in plumbing, HVAC, or electrical work, Supply House is the reliable way to order products online. Their easy-to-use website is packed with helpful resources and the latest product info to help you get the job done right. Plus, with a complete inventory of over 200,000 parts from 400-plus top brands, you'll find exactly what you need delivered fast from coast to coast. Need help with an order? Supply House offers expert support and industry-leading service, so you'll always talk to a real person. And for trade pros looking for an extra edge, their free TradeMaster program offers exclusive perks like a dedicated phone line, free shipping, and discounts on every order. Thousands of skilled professionals are already taking advantage. Now it's your turn. Join the TradeMaster program today at supplyhouse.com/TM and start ordering plumbing, HVAC, and electrical supplies with just a few clicks. Plus, use promo code SH5 for 5% off your first order. That's supplyhouse.com. Back here live on the greatest victory edition this year, in my opinion, of the Locked On Angels Postcast. The Angels win a thrilling one, 5-4. They come back from down 4-2 to earn the comeback win. They came back last game in the bottom of the 8th with 6 runs. They come back here with 3 clutch runs, all from Jorge Soler via the 3 RBI double, the bases clearing double down the line. Now, I see a bunch of people in the chat debating about Ron Washington. As always, Nathan says Wash is trash. TFL says Ron washed. W. Baldwin says, I like washed. TFL saying this team is better the last couple of weeks besides the Tigers. JCH saying, keep Wash. Larry saying, maybe Wash figured it out. Jeff Berry saying, I wish Ron was still with the Braves, right? So obviously, everyone polarizing when it comes to Ron Washington. Let's just enjoy this win. We've talked about Ron Washington enough. At the end of the day, he's not going to be fired, right? I think that's pretty safe to say. And certainly now, with every game he wins, the safety stays for him, right? So let's not even waste our time talking about it. We can criticize the decisions, right? But in terms of talking about whether Ron should stay or go, I feel like we don't need that right now. Oh, Jeff Barry says, I'm a Braves fan, by the way, when he says, I wish Ron was still with the Braves. So that's another vote in favor of Ron Washington as a good coach and manager. But once again, a quick recap. Zach Neto 1 for 3, Schanuel 2 for 3, Taylor Ward 0 for 5 with 3 strikeouts. My Lord, right when everyone thought he was getting back to being a solid hitter. Soler, of course, the man, 2 for 4 with the 3 RBI double. The player of the game, he had a walk as well. Two walks for Schanuel. I can't forget to say 2 hits and 2 walks. Really, that OPS skyrocketing pretty quickly, that OBP as well. Rengifo 0 for 2, Darno 0 for 4 with 2 strikeouts, Moncada 2 for 3. He had the solo shot. Ohapi 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts. Seems like when Ohapi goes 0 for, it's always with at least 2 strikeouts. That's one thing we really need to fix, especially with a catcher that is above average in terms of athleticism. Would love to just have him get the ball and play a little bit more and at least give himself a chance on the bases. Newman goes 0 for 0 for 0 for 0 for. He didn't do anything. Joe Adell instantly pinch hits for him. And then Kyron Paris, 2 for 3 with the shot. He had the 2 runs. He had the leadoff walk in the top of the 9th, or the bottom of the 9th. That deserves so much credit. One more time, Kikuchi, 6 innings, 5 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, 6 strikeouts. He was very good. Still doesn't get his first win, but a 3.83 ERA. I think he's going to keep getting better as the season goes on. Let's get that ERA under 3. Hopefully, Detmers was awful. 3 hits, 3 earned runs, doesn't get an out. Zephyr John, 2 hits, doesn't get credited with a run. Obviously, 2 of the runs they scored were off of him, but not credited to him. He did have those 2 strikeouts to get out of the inning. Brogdon goes, pitches in the 8th inning, gives up 2 hits, but it's okay other than that. And then Brock Burke, that 1 walk, but he actually gets the win. He's now 3-0 despite the 4.85 ERA, which just shows you there's been a couple times this year where the Angels have had comebacks. Real Marco Polo says, come on, Gav, what do you mean another bonehead decision by Wash almost cost the Angels the game? Yes and no, maybe so. I certainly didn't like the decision in the moment, certainly hated the decision after the results, but you got the win. So that's luckily, you get passes when you win the ball game. Kikuchi, great game. Artie would need to hire a baseball brain to hire a competent manager. That's funny. That's funny, Nathan. But with all that being said, we're going to wrap this one up. Absolutely fun time tonight. What a win. The Angels win 5-4. They've won 2 in a row, and they have an opportunity to sweep the Blue Jays tomorrow, which, boy, I came into this series. Let's not forget, I came into this series saying, bold statement, I think the Angels are going to win the series. And sad state of affairs when that's a bold statement. But they did do just that already. And now they've got the game tomorrow, trying to see real quick who the probable starter is for the game tomorrow. Looks like MLB.com got some sort of update or something. And what I'm normally used to seeing, I don't see in terms of the probable pitchers. Give me 1 second. It will be Jose Soriano against Bassett for the Blue Jays. Bassett's actually been better than I thought. 2-2, but a 2.95 ERA. But we have my boy Soriano on the mound. And the same way I was saying, what did I really want coming into this game? A good start from Kikuchi. I wanted him to get the win, obviously, but we got the good start from Kikuchi, and we got a good offensive performance, even though it was very late in this ball game. What do I want tomorrow? What would be the ideal thing? Obviously, it would be for Jose Soriano to just get a win. He's 2-4. The 3.83 ERA, if that gets below 3.5 and he's 3-4, I just want to see that sinker, right? If that sinker's looking good, then Soriano's going to pitch well. So let's see a good sink here from Soriano. Let's not strike out. Bassett does have 43 strikeouts already. So let's make some contact. And Jose Soriano, let's force some weak contact. And I think the Angels will be just fine. We'll talk about that game after the game. As always, the show will be right after. Looking forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. But for now, enjoy the rest of your Wednesday, a victory Wednesday, and I'll see you tomorrow. Take care and go Angels, baby.